I haven't had a video for a week, have we? So another steam engine video, I'm afraid. Not doing much else. Anyway, I think you know the project wasn't quite finished because originally, my very first video, I said that I was hoping to cast a flywheel from some cans. That was all we were going to do. Well, of course, I made this one, and you know what happened to the original one. Anyway, I'm having another go. I know what I did wrong last time, and so I took a short bit of video and I've made another mould for a flywheel. And that tin can lash up on the top is, yes, it'll melt and come out the holes and set fire to that. We're not worried about that. But I showed you what I did. I'm having another attempt at casting a flywheel. I know what I did wrong last time, I didn't try it out. Trouble is, it's one thing I set out to do I haven't done, and it would be nice if we could do it. So we're doing the same again. However, what I've done this time, I've done a 3-spoke one, you see, and to try and save some cleaning up, I rubbed it off. So what I did, I made another mix of very thin cement and I put it on using my hot air blower. You know, I dried it off. Then I rubbed it off, gave it another coat, and I've left it a coat overnight, done the same again. So they are dry this time. Now will it last? Well, obviously we don't know. However, if you look at this, it should have a coating of cement on it. Now, if you look at that wood there, I'm leaving it on for a while, quite close, and this paint stripper does get very hot. And as you can see, it's not actually burning the wood. Obviously hot aluminium is a lot hotter and it will ruin it after a while. But as you can see, it's not really burning, it's browned it slightly. Whereas, if I get a bit of the same wood, and this is exactly just a bit of offcut that I cut off the corner, just the same. And you see it's colouring it already. Now it's going brown, and it hasn't been on as long as on the other, remember. And like I said, the aluminium will be a lot hotter, so all it's got to do is the wood has to withstand until it sets. After that, it doesn't matter. But as you can see, it's now burnt that quite a lot. So we'll give it a go and see. You know, I've still got to do quite a lot to do. But they are, look, you see the smoke coming off it and everything. So about the same amount of time. Anyway, we'll have to see. Now the other thing is, of course, I thought, how can I pour it in, etc, etc. Well, I know one problem immediately is going to be an air pocket getting trapped at the bottom. So I've cut an air pocket up there in both of them, and obviously I've got to seal the back side and leave an air hole there for the boss, and also for the throat. Now obviously, if you remember, I haven't got it, have I? No, it's cut off downstairs, but if you remember, for shrinkage, well, it needs to be a lot bigger than that, a lot deeper. So what I'm going to try and do is, just using a can, just squash that up and put it in that hole and pour it in there. because it's going to, there's got to be shrinkage, so I'm trying to get it at the top. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. It's not much chance, but it's not cost out, has it? Only a bit of time, so we'll give it a go and see. I've cleaned it, and using me hot air gun, using my hot air gun that I used from the blower on the furnace light, I dried it off and I gave it sort of 3 coats. So we'll have to see. Anyway, if you look outside, I was hoping that would be the next one, but if you can see outside, it's it's not conversant to casting, let alone being out in this lot. So we've had to have another think. And it's near the end of January, isn't it? There's still quite a long while to go, and I've not much else. Well, I've got other things I could do, but nothing of any real interest. So part of my plan was, as I said, I made this and got it going, and I knew about that, and it looked nice. So, but as I said at the start, the steam pipe there that goes in the head, well, I would like to make it portable enough to run on a small boiler, which I've got somewhere. I've tried several things. Oh, it's down here. It's down here, look. Now, we tried that one, as you know, which did work with the blow lamp with it once, but it's not very successful on steam, is it? And I just thought it would be nice, since I found that little stove, just to make it portable. Well, there's an empty canister that'll stand a bit of pressure, so I put a nut in that and made a little boiler, and I tried it a week ago, and again, if you nip the pipe, you can just get enough pressure to make it run a bit. So it's got to run slower, so it needs, now we've built it and we've done it, we can sort of have a play, can't we? That was the general plan anyway. So what I'm going to try and do, flywheel I'm going to take off and put on the other side, and because we're held up with the weather at the moment, we could actually use this flywheel again if we don't get the other one made, or if it goes wrong, we'll have to see. And then at a later date I can do the other one, or I can have another go at another one, different methods, and see. By the way, this, I forgot to tell you that a little bit, didn't I? Right, when you're casting, we know how much shrinkage there is. If you remember, oh, it's outside now, isn't it? But if you remember when I did the block in a tin can like that, for the block, it was left a bit short because it's sunk in the middle. When it contracts, it shrinks. And so why you need such a large bit on the top, so I'm hoping, I don't know if it'll work or not, but if I pour that in just slowly round there, and I was worried about air getting trapped at the bottom as well, so if I pour it in slowly at that angle, and if I can melt enough and get this filled up, what I might do is, again, I've got that fire extinguisher that I tried to use as a boiler, and it's aluminium, and it's better aluminium than them melted cans, so I'm going to see if I can just cut it up, and if the crucible will stand one more firing, and we'll do that. Anyway, it's not going to be that as difficult as I thought. That pipe, take this off, and you get to that pipe, and if I just drill a hole in the side of it, now I'm going to also, I think, cut the piston a bit shorter, and possibly make a new piece, and I still don't know how I'm going to do this yet. That now goes in and out very nicely, as you can see. But I made a big long piston to make it run slow. Well, that could be cut off quite a lot actually. It needs nearly half. But then push that up inside, and put a hole in the side there, and then if I make a new manifold for here out of a bit of steel where the pipe comes out the end, I can then mount the spool valve close to it, about there somewhere. So if I mount it there, it might have to have a longish, slightly bent rod to operate it. So it'll probably be something like, and as I say, I don't know yet, depends what I've got. I'm looking in my box. I mean, even that, it's hardly thick enough. Somewhere, and that's well, that pipe would, no, I can't bend it. Anyway, somewhere I've got a piece of rod, probably in the other box. Anyway, the thing is, I've got to make a concentric, an eccentric thing, whatever they're called. I can't use a cam because obviously there's a spindle going past it, and that's why I originally shied away from that, because not having a lathe, it's a bit awkward. So I'm going to have to get something like, let's either make or find something like a washer. And have I got anything else to show you? I really want 2 washers, don't I? But anyway, if you can imagine something a bit larger, I'm just looking round to try and find something. I don't want to make this too long, but it's just to, as I say, I haven't put any videos up for a week or so. So we're just trying to find something of a bit of interest to show you today. So anyway, let's use a very smaller one, just to give you a clue as to what we're doing. Right. Yeah, just for argument's sake. Right. Say that little washer thing does come off there, but it does. I can get it off. It's all right. Oh, I can't do it one-handed though. I can't do it one-handed. There's the one. Right, we use one of these little washers. Right. Just to try and show you what we might be able to do, and obviously this isn't the size or anything like that, but to make, the eccentric to drive the cam, the spool valve rather, if I get a piece that goes on to the shaft, and then get another piece that goes on there, that hole will be obviously as big as it needs to be, at 3/4 of an inch, and drill that and put a screw through, that will then work like that, you see. And that then will go this side, and it will drive the spool valve, but it'll have to have a bend in it, which is why a piece of rod, it'll be long, and as I say, the spool valve will have to sit about there, and I will probably move the block further this way, shorten the whole thing, and put the flywheel on the other side. And then because the problem is at the minute, this long pipe, especially on steam, I mean, I've got a reasonable stroke and and a reasonable size, but I think if you measure it, there probably isn't enough to actually blow it all the way down that pipe. So, and as I said, in the past, the piston has to block the hole up to give it a chance to rest. So it's got to go in the side, like everybody else does. But I got this working, that's the thing. Even though I hardly expected it to work, I did it for looks. But we did get it to work. So that's what I'm going to try and do anyway. So that will go there, and there'll be a short pipe into the side of the block, so the piston will cover it as it's supposed to do. I can easily block that off in the head again. Make a little manifold So the pipe will come out there like that, probably a slight bend, so it'll be short, like that, to go inside the block. And then the exhaust there, we could even drill it out slightly and put a pipe on there and bring it across and put a little chimney up, something like that, tall chimney on this side, because this side will be bare, you see, won't it? Barring the flywheel, and I'm doing it quite a lot bigger, if it works, and I'll put a well in it, so it'll have a big flywheel on this side eventually. And then, as I say, now I know what more what we're doing, something like a little boiler like that should then provide enough steam to make it work, so I can make it more portable, can't I? And like I said, we're only at the, end of January, so I've still got quite a few weeks inside to find something to do, haven't I, before spring. So there we are. Right, that's enough of me waffling. Sorry it's a bit long, but in the middle of this I'll put the build of the mould, what we're doing. Alright, we'll see what develops, as I say.